junior event. And once again, that will of course commence by a brief presentation of the athletes, where they will appear on your right-hand side. And when they do that, I do expect all of you to show some appreciation and to make some noise for the athletes, because they have truly deserved it for being here. So, with that being said, let's get this show on the road. On firing point A, representing the Netherlands, Nunge ten Dolle. And on firing point B, representing Norway, Maria Vucenovic. On firing point C, representing Denmark, Nicoline Ra. And on firing point D, on firing point F, from Norway, Leonora Sørli Christensen. And next to her on firing point G, from Denmark, Annabelle Borved. And lastly, on firing point H, representing Norway, Antonia Anna Knudsen.
Take your positions. Five minutes preparation sighting time. Start.
And once again, it is a privilege to welcome all of you in the audience here to the finals hall here in Vildbjerg for the last day of Denmark Open Air 2026. And as I mentioned before, what will very, very briefly begin is the 10-meter air rifle women junior final. And before that, just in case any of you in the audience don't really know that much about how this final is going to go and how the final formats usually work, I will just do a very brief presentation for you. So, the athletes are now in their preparation and sighting time stage, which consists of 5 minutes where they basically have all that time to find the middle of the target, to shoot some sighting shots and to make the last detailed corrections to the rifle, to their position and to themselves, and indeed to their mindset, in order to have the best foundation to participate and to accelerate in the final. And when they are done with that in about 3 minutes and 46 seconds, they will begin the actual competition part of this final, which will begin with 2 5-shot series. And each series will be shot within a time of 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Following that, we will transition into the elimination phase of this final. And that is where it truly gets exciting, because if after every second single shot, we will eliminate the lowest ranking athlete. And in more practical terms, that basically means that following our 12th shot, we will eliminate number 8. After 14, it'll be number 7, and so on, until we reach 22 shots, and we can decide a bronze medal. And after 24, we can decide our gold and silver. And that is, of course, if there won't be any ties during any decision-making shots. So let's say if we, after 12 shots, have 2 people at the bottom of the scoreboard with the same result, they will have to do a single shot sudden death shoot-off, which is going to be very interesting, and hopefully we'll get to see one of those. It's super exciting and really good entertainment. So, one of the great things about this competition, ladies and gentlemen, is all of you guys, because you are here to create the atmosphere that's really bringing this to a completely different level. And, of course, we all have our favorites, as do I myself, of course. So, let's hear it. Let's see, okay, we have some Norwegians in the final. Are there any Norwegians in the audience? Yes? Oh, you're gonna have to pick that up, Norway. That was a super slow start. I'm very disappointed at all of you. You'll have to do better. Seriously, do better. How about the Dutch? Well, you are kind of outnumbered, so you're trying your best, but you can do better, I know. Yes, okay. Do again, yeah. Oh my God, I'm scolding all of you so far. How about Denmark? Okay, oh, well. I'm pretty sure that all of you kind of have to pick it up a bit. So, okay, let's go with one last collective noise for all of these great athletes, for showing our appreciation for them making it into the final. So, let's go! Good, good. That's what I like to hear. So, now I only have one thing left to say, and that is enjoy the final. I'm sure it's going to be an entertaining one.
Second. Preparation and sighting time. Stop. For the first competition series, load. Start. Stop.
And here after the first 5-shot series, we have yesterday's winner who has decided to put herself in the lead right away with a total score of 51.8 from the Netherlands, Nunke $10. And she is 0.6 of a point ahead of the Danish Annabelle Borved in second, who is again half a point ahead of the Norwegian Leonora Sørli Christensen in third.
For the next competition here, load. Start. Stop.
And here after the first 10 shots, we still have in the lead with a total of 102.5 from the Netherlands, Nunke $10. And she is slowly but surely increasing her lead down to second position. The difference between her and the Norwegian Antoni Anna Knudsen in second is now 0.8 of a point. And looking at the other end of the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen, we now transition into the elimination phase of our final, where we need to make a decision for 8th position after the next 2 single shots. And currently we have in that position from Denmark, Laura Bødker, but she is only 0.2 of a point behind the Norwegian Malin Jarlin Mauland in second position.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And we have a change in the current last position before we need to make a decision following the next single shot. We now have in 8th position from Norway, Malin Jarlin Mauland. The difference between her and Laura Bødker, who sneaked up into 7th position, is now 0.4 of a point.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And there we have it, taking the 8th position in today's final, representing Norway, Malin Jarlin Mauland. And once again in the hot seat and in danger or elimination after the next 2 single shots, we have from Denmark, Laura Bødker. The difference that she has to make up is 2.2 points. At the other end of the table, we still have in the lead from the Netherlands, Nunge ten Dolle.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And before we make our decision for the 7th position in today's final, the difference that Laura Bødker has to make up is now 2 points, meaning that it is slowly dwindling down, but it does look rather difficult, but nothing is impossible in these finals, as we have seen multiple times.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And taking 7th position, representing Denmark, Laura Bødker. And in danger of elimination after the next 2 single shots. However, with the smallest of margin imaginable, only 1/10 of a point, we have in 6th position from Norway, Maria Vucinovic. And at the other end of the table, Nunge ten Dolle of the Netherlands is shooting some great deep inner tens. And the difference between her and Annabelle Borved, who is new in 2nd position, is now 2.1 points.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And before we maybe get to make a decision for the 6th position of today's final, we have a tie for that position. we have 2 athletes with a total of 151.7. And just to make this even more interesting, the difference between those two and the next athlete is only 1/10 of a point. So currently, this is a battle between 2 Norwegians. The battle is between Leonora Sørli Christensen and Antonia Anna Knudsen.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And taking 6th position, representing Norway, Antonia Anna Knudsen. And now in 5th position and in danger of being eliminated following our next 2 shots, only with a difference of 2/10 of a point, we have from Norway, Maria Vucenovic. And at the other end of the table, we still have the Dutch Nukke ten Dollar in the lead. And currently she is 2.2 points ahead of Nicoline Ra of Denmark, who is in turn 4/10 of a point ahead of Annabelle Borved of Denmark in 3rd.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And before we need to make a decision, ladies and gentlemen, the scoreboard has drastically changed. Now in danger of elimination after the next single shot, we have from Denmark Annabelle Borved currently in 5th. But the difference between her and the 2 other athletes in front of her is only 1/10 of a point.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And there we have it, taking 5th position in today's final, representing Norway, Maria Vucenovic. And now we get to decide the most unfortunate position in today's final, which is 4th position. And currently we have the Norwegian Leonora Sørli Christensen in that position, but she is just 2/10 of a point behind Annabelle Borved of Denmark in 3rd position. At the other end of the table, we still have from the Netherlands in 1st position, Nukke ten Dollar. And she is 1.7 points ahead of Nicoline Ra of Denmark in 2nd position.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And the pressure is surely rising inside the finals hall. We once again have a switch between third and fourth. Now we have Annabelle Borved of Denmark in fourth position, but she is only 3/10 of a point behind the Norwegian Leonora Sørli Christensen in third.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And a 10.3 was unfortunately not enough for Annabelle Borved. She takes fourth position, and congratulations! So now we are into the medals, ladies and gentlemen, and it is up to the athletes to decide who gets what color of medal. Currently and still in the lead with a total score of 207.3 from the Netherlands, Nunge $10. And 2.9 points behind her with a total of 204.4 from Denmark, Nicoline Ra. And a further 1.5 point behind Nicoline we have from Norway in third, Leonora Sørli Christensen.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And before we decide who gets the bronze medal, Nicoline Ra of Denmark wants to extend her lead down to third position, Norwegian Leonora Sørli Christensen. The difference between the two is now 1.7.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And taking the bronze medal, finishing off with a beautiful 10.8 from Norway, Leonora Sørli Christensen. And still leading this final with a total of 228 from the Netherlands, Nunge $10. And the difference between her and Nicoline Ra of Denmark in second position is now 2.9.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And Nicoline Ra is putting up a great fight with a beautiful 10.6. However, the Dutch Nunkerton dollar is responding with a 10.4, meaning that the difference has only decreased slightly. It is now 2.7 before what might very well be the last shot.
For the next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
And our silver medalist representing Denmark, Nicoline Ra. And our gold medalist from the Netherlands, Nunke 10 dollar. And dear audience, please stay put for the medal ceremony for the 10-meter air rifle women junior event, which will begin immediately when the ladies are done. So the medal ceremony for the 10-meter air rifle women junior event will now begin. And our bronze medalist representing Norway, Leonora Shirley Christensen. And our silver medalist representing Denmark, Nicoline Ra.